My name is Carolyn Bailey and I'm the principal of the Cambridge High School in Abu Dhabi. I've been teaching for 22 years. Most of that has been in the UK. So I've worked in 3 different schools in the UK and was the head teacher at my most recent school before moving out here to the Middle East. I've been in the Middle East now for just over 2 years and came to work here at this amazing institution, the Cambridge High School. We're one of the oldest schools here in Abu Dhabi, now just over 25 years old. And when we started, there were just 3 British curriculum schools in Abu Dhabi. Now there's nearly 50. So that is massive growth, and I think that's no surprise to anyone who's been part of the journey of this amazing country. So when we first moved to this building, we were one building in a massive patch of sand. Now we look out and we are surrounded by a community, and we are very much a community school. So I originally trained as an ICT teacher and enjoyed teaching that for many years, and then followed a pretty traditional career path within education, moving into management first of all within a department, and then up to senior leadership about 15 years ago. Within senior leadership, I've generally taken roles linked to curriculum and data and analysis. But I also had some roles in the pastoral side, which is where we look after children and nurture the children. But really, predominantly, I came up the kind of curriculum and data side, moving into headship about 5 years ago. I really enjoy being the leader of a school. It gives me such an opportunity to influence the future of so many different children. Sometimes it's scary, but mostly it's highly rewarding. And I feel very lucky to have this opportunity to work out here, leading a great group of teachers and an even more amazing group of students. The Cambridge High School is a British curriculum school. We start teaching from FS2, which is age 4, all the way through to year 13, which is age 18. And I think that's one of the amazing things about school here in Abu Dhabi. So in the UK, we would typically go to 4 different schools over that period. But here, you can start in one school and continue that journey for the whole of your school education. I think that allows you to create real depth, really strong relationships, and gives a really safe environment within which you can flourish and grow. So that was a new experience to me and one I've really enjoyed being a part of. We have 1,800 students, a mixture of girls and boys, and those students are pretty evenly spread out across the school. And that's really because we're such an established school. So we have 4 classes in each year group, running all the way from the little ones at FS2 up to year 13 and our A-level courses. The thing I think Cambridge is most known for is our exam results. So our experience, our reputation at delivering those exam boards in years 11, 12 and 13. We are very lucky. We have exceptional students who study and work really hard. That's fostered right from FS2. We're looking for independent workers who learn to study hard on their own. And so our head boy last year is now off at Oxford University in the UK. And out of last year's year 13, we have students at Imperial in London, at Melbourne in Australia, at New York in America, all around the world, Montreal, all the top countries, and our students attend all the top universities in those countries. And that, I think, comes from what we foster right from FS2, that independent learning, taking responsibility for their own learning, means that by the time they get to 16, 17, 18, they're really skilled learners and ready to go off and be successful in the world. Okay, well, I can tell you, if you had been one of my teachers at school, the last thing you would have expected me to become was a teacher. I was a bit of a tearaway when I was at school. But when I had a family of my own, I thought again about what I wanted to do as my profession. So I came out of industry and I retrained and I trained to become a teacher. And when I started, I thought I'd probably only do it for 5 or 6 years until my children grew up and were both back at full-time school themselves. But as soon as I started, I was smitten. I couldn't believe how much I loved teaching. And from there on, I couldn't ever think of doing anything different. And so my journey began as an ICT teacher. And from there, I've taken on a range of leadership positions because I also enjoy leading schools. Until eventually, I had the joy and the pleasure of being appointed as a principal of a school. First of all in the UK, and then most recently out here in Abu Dhabi. The great thing about joining education for your career is we are always going to need schools. In some shape or another, we're always going to need education. It might not look quite like this forever, but actually schools have not changed a lot, even across the last 100 years. So I think it's a very reliable profession to join. Its future? Well, we're seeing small changes, increased use of technology, but we will always have children who need to start by learning the ABCs, and we'll always have our 18-year-olds who need to be deeply stretched and prepared for university. Out here in Abu Dhabi, I think the future's very bright for education. We've already seen massive growth in the number of schools, and I think most recently what we've seen is a real increase in the quality of education being delivered out here. Schools like ours now deliver really good quality education, as good as you would get in the UK, no doubt. I have led outstanding schools in the UK, and this school is as good as any that I have worked in there. I think anyone considering being a teacher, if it appeals to you even this much, should really start to consider it seriously. It gives you so many advantages. It allows you to work anywhere around the world, because wherever you go, there will always be children that need educating. You get great holidays, always a bonus of being a teacher, but much more than either of those, it gives you an opportunity to do a job you will just love. Every day is different. Before I came to teaching, I worked in industry for Fujitsu, a very large technology company. But many days were pretty similar. I think since coming to teaching, I don't think I've had 2 days the same. The fact that you spend your life with lots of other people means there's so much variety, and whatever you plan for happening today, it never quite happens that way. And that's what keeps it really exciting, really interesting, but also stretches you. Because if you're not right on top of your game, believe you me, the kids will know. They will find you out. So you have to work hard every day. You can never turn up to the classroom not prepared with fully engaging lessons ready to deliver. So I say again, if you're just a little bit interested in becoming a teacher, think about it really hard. I recommend it to you wholeheartedly.